So today we're going to look at a small Java problem, and we're going to make it a little bit complicated and see what happens, think about it, and come up with a solution to that problem. What we're going to be looking at is just the roll of a dice. Okay, so every time I roll a dice, I'm going to create a Java variable, and I'm going to store the number within that variable. So when I roll this dice, I create a little Java variable here called roll1, and I store the value. And in Java, that's going to look something like this: int roll1 equals 3. Of course, I could also do it like this: int roll1, and then when I roll the dice, I actually assign the value to the variable. Roll1 equals 3. I'm assigning the value 3 to the variable roll1. So this is how Java will store data for us in its variables. Now let's say that we roll the dice again. So we're going to create a new variable, and we'll just call it roll2, and it's going to store the latest value that is rolled from the dice. So there we have a new variable. And let's just, for argument's sake, let's just say we do it again, and again, and again. So ultimately, we're going to end up having a few more variables to store every roll of the dice. So just to make that absolutely clear, bear with me for a moment while I print all this out. Okay, so there we have a dice that has been rolled 5 times, and every time it's been rolled, we have stored the value in a Java variable. It doesn't have to be Java, of course, but that's the program that we're using for this tutorial. And in Java, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to set up some variables. Oh, by the way, while I'm doing this, let me explain that if you're setting up a whole bunch of integer variables, you could do it like this. And Java will accept that, just as we were doing it before. And then I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to assign the value into my integer variable roll1. And let's say we rolled a 3. And then I'm going to roll the dice again. And this time I'm going to assign that value to my integer variable roll2. And let's do it again. Roll it again, and etc., etc., etc. Now, this is all very well when we're thinking about a small number of rolls. And I can do something like this. Look, I could say int total. And we'll just set that total to 0 at the beginning of the program. And when we've finished rolling our dice, I can say total equals roll1 plus roll2 plus roll3, etc. Okay? Now this is all well and good, but what's going to happen if we have 100 rolls? Our computer program is going to get, oops, what am I doing plus for? Okay, roll 1, roll 2, roll 3, roll 4, roll 5, roll 6, roll 7, roll 8, roll 9, roll 10, blah blah blah, roll 100. Our computer program is going to get very, very complicated and long, especially if we start to compare rolls against each other, trying to find out which number, which variable holds the biggest number or a certain number. Our program is going to get very, very complicated. So the way around this that Java and other computer programs come up with is to create an array. An array will allow you to store the same kind of data as a collection. Okay, so let's just quickly look at how to do that. I'm going to initialize an array. This is now an integer array. Okay, and I'm going to call it roles. And I'm going to tell Java, please store enough space for 5 integers. So instead of creating an integer, which will look like this was just for role 1, I'm actually this time creating an integer array called roles, and I'm saying to Java, this is a new integer array that will store 5 integers. Okay? And now when I roll the dice, I can say roles 1 equals 3. So I've rolled the dice. Roles 2 equals something. Just give it a random number. Roles 3 equals 4. And roles 5 sorry, I'm getting a little bit confused here, equals 3. And the last one, because I said there were 5 boxes within the array, so roles 5 is going to be equal to something else. Okay? So I have created an integer array. Let's just have a look at what that looks like. Just get rid of all this. Let's keep a dice, because it makes my display look pretty. Integer array roles equals a new integer array of 5 boxes. This is my Java line of code. Now what this looks like in Java is this. Here is my little variable called roles. And let's just change the color of that if we can. How do I change the color of that? Okay. Whoops. Okay, so I've got roles, which incredibly points to this area of memory here, which contains 5 boxes. And this one here is roles 1. This is the first one. Okay? So when I say roles 1 equals 3, what that does is it puts the value 3 into that little box. So roles 1 equals 3. And we can do this again and again for each of the elements of the array. Now how many elements are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in this array, because that's what I told Java. Okay? And I can assign different values to each element of the array. Now, I told you a little lie, just so that you can understand what's going on here. Roles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not the way Java works, unfortunately. Java always starts its indexing of array elements at 0. So this one is in fact roles 0. This is roles 1. This is roles 2. Whoops. Don't do that. This one is roles 3. And this one is roles 4. And of course you can assign whatever value you want to assign to these elements, as long as they are integers, because this is an integer array. So here is roles, that's that, and it points to an integer array of 5 elements, starting at 0 and going to 4. Okay? And within each element, we can assign values similar to what we were doing with normal integer variables. Okay? Now, the wonderful thing about this is you can control how an array is being used by using a for loop. Now let me explain what I mean. For int I equals 0 to I is less than 5 I plus plus. I have just created a for loop which will iterate 5 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. So let's say that we get, okay, let's just go through the whole thing here, just to make it very, very clear what we're doing. I'm just going to set up a scanner variable called keyboardIn equals a new scanner system.in. And what else do I need? Okay, so 5 times I'm just going to ask the user to input a number. System.out.println enter a number. In fact, let's make that really clear. Enter number. So because we're starting at 0, I'm just going to say I plus 1. Enter number 1. And then we're going to say roll I, because I will start at 0, equals kbin dot next int. And hopefully this little for loop here, just these 2 lines of code, are going to fill up my integer array of 5 values. Let's see if it works. It's never going to work, is it? First time around, but let's try. Is it going to build? It's thinking. It's thinking. Oh no. Oh, it's roles, isn't it? Did I call it roles? Roles. So that should be roles. We'll try again. Come on. Process completed. Now let's run it. Enter number 1, 4. Enter number 2, 5. Enter number 3, 2. Enter number 4, 6. Enter number 5, 3. And that's it, finished. Now let's check to see if indeed our memory boxes got full. I'm just going to make another for loop. For int I equals 0 to I is less than 5, I plus plus. System, what's that doing there? System.out.println roles I. Let's just build that. Will it work? It's not going to work. Maybe I'm not allowed to use I again. Let's change that to J. Build. Oh, we've got an error. Oh yeah, I see what I've done. Am I allowed to use I again? Let's just try I again. Build, build. No. Oh no, that's a capital I. Come on, I'm gonna run out of time on my video. Build. Oh no, what's the problem? That should change that to I. Build, build. I'm gonna run out of time. Process complete.